Dan Gregory is the CEO of the Impossible Institute, which is an innovator and a think tank. Dan, thanks so much for being with us today.
Josh.
Now, tell us a little bit about the Impossible Institute here at Possible 2014. What's your role here today?
Well, our business is really about how do we make what's not possible? How do we help people be more innovative? How do we help them solve problems in ways they haven't seen before? And that's really what I was speaking about today at Possible is how do we find ways to solve issues that we're facing in ways that people haven't seen before? And how do we be more innovative and more creative in the way we approach some of the issues that all of us are facing?
Ideas is a business that looks at dealing with getting information out in the disability sector. How important is the way that we access information these days, and how's it changing?
Well, I think that's the critical point, is that it is changing so much. We've got so many more channels, we've got so many more ways of reaching people than ever before, but they've also got less attention span than they've ever had before. So I think that's the critical thing. Having said that, the most fundamental kind of communication that human beings have, and that is stories, are still incredibly relevant. A story is essentially the way of condensing the most amount of value and information into a really portable form. We can tell stories, we can retell stories, we can tell them in the first person or the third person. We can tweet a story now, we can share it on Facebook, and I think that's what's becoming critical, is that our capacity to use stories to share information is more important than ever before.
You spoke a lot this morning about the way the world is changing, and you said one interesting thing about it's not actually that important to get out ahead and predict the future. It's about how you adapt and change while you see it changing already as it's in the present. Why isn't it important to try and predict what's going to happen?
Well, the truth is we can't. If we could predict the future, then we would have all invested in Microsoft or in Facebook. But very few of us actually did. So, Alan Kay, who was one of the fellows at Apple, said the best way to predict the future is to invent it. And I think that's very true. I think that's what the opportunity is today. And one of the things I talked about today was the fact that we're living in an age of logarithmic change. So that the time it takes to change is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. So change is accelerating. And what that means is it's getting harder and harder to predict, but less and less important to predict. Because what's not possible today will be possible tomorrow. So that's really what I'm talking about is, don't worry about predicting the future. Start creating it.
And in the disability sector, how have you've come through a lot of careers through stand-up comedy and other avenues as well. How have you come to look at work in the disability sector?
It's through a number of different things. One of the things was, I did some advertising years ago for the National Disability Awards, and I met some amazing, people during that. And one of the people I met was a young guy from Perth. And what he does is he creates machines that allow people with disabilities to engage in extreme sports. So essentially what he does is he puts people with disability in danger.
Yeah.
But what a novel thought, because we typically have such a narrow view of what people's experience of the world should be. And we think, well, why would someone with a disability want to engage in extreme sport? But he wasn't limited by that kind of thinking. And I think that's really what, today is about throwing off the blinders, forgetting about, well, this is the way things are supposed to be, forgetting about that, and saying, how could they be? What might they be like? And what kind of world do we want to create for people with disability? And I think that's what's really possible, in a conference like this.
Dan Gregory, CEO of the Impossible Institute, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks, Josh. Cheers.